I mean, for people that have not had caviar, it's sort of what you'd expect by looking at it. They're these tiny little burst in your mouth eggs that are just so fresh and delicate and firm and just kind of pop.
You thought your favorite snacks were harmless treats, right? But what if I told you the hidden secrets of how they're made could haunt you? Picture this. Hot dogs, loved by many, yet they're actually crafted from leftover scraps and unknown animal parts mixed into a smooth, unsettling paste. And those nuggets? They're a mashup of chicken parts you'd never choose to eat on their own, all coated in breadcrumbs and deep fried to disguise the truth. Will you ever crave a hot dog again after learning what's inside? Don't miss the huge secrets behind how these foods are made, exposing the real story behind imitation crab. Imitation crab, also known as surimi, is a clever trick when you think you're eating real crab. It looks and tastes like the real thing, but it's actually made from cheaper processed fish like pollock or hake. The process involves turning the fish into a paste, mixing it with things like starch, sugar, and fake crab flavor. Then it's shaped to look like crab meat and dyed to match the familiar red and white look of real crab. Stay tuned to uncover the surprising impact this culinary deception has on the seafood industry and your taste buds. Details revealed in our next episode. While imitation crab is a cheaper alternative to the real stuff and is often found in sushi, seafood salads, and other dishes, it's not quite as good for you. Real crab is packed with protein, vitamins, and minerals, but the imitation? Not so much. It's lower in nutrients and higher in sodium because of the preservatives that keep it fresh for longer. And if you're allergic to shellfish, imitation crab might still be a problem. Even though it's made from fish, it's often produced in places that handle real crab, which means there's a chance of cross-contamination. This could trigger an allergic reaction for people with shellfish allergies. So the next time you grab some sushi or a seafood salad, remember that imitation crab is just that, an imitation. It's cheaper, but you're missing out on the real nutritional value. Staying informed about what's in your food can help you make smarter choices, whether it's about health or managing allergies. Now let's move on to number 14, instant ramen. Instant ramen is a go-to meal for many people because it's quick, cheap, and easy. But the way it's made might make you think twice before tearing open another packet. Those instant noodles are often deep fried before being packaged, which gives them that unique texture. Unfortunately, it also loads them up with unhealthy fats that can contribute to high cholesterol and even heart disease. And don't forget about the flavor packet. It's full of sodium and artificial ingredients. Eating too much sodium can raise your blood pressure, increasing your chances of heart disease and stroke. The artificial stuff in there? It's been linked to all kinds of health problems, from headaches to more serious issues like cancer. On top of that, instant ramen doesn't offer much in the way of nutrition. It's low in fiber, protein, and vitamins, which are all things you need for a balanced diet. It might be convenient, but it's not doing your health any favors in the long run. But this isn't even the worst part. There are ways to enjoy instant ramen without sacrificing your health. One easy fix is to add fresh veggies like spinach, carrots, or bell peppers to your bowl. This boosts the meal's fiber and vitamins. You can also throw in some lean protein like chicken, tofu, or a boiled egg, and try using only half the flavor packet to cut down on sodium. If you have a little more time, you could also consider making a homemade soup or stir-fry. These meals are just as comforting and convenient, but much healthier, allowing you to control the ingredients and make sure you're getting a well-balanced meal. So next time you're craving instant ramen, think about these healthier options. A little extra effort can go a long way for your health. Hot dogs are a favorite at cookouts and sports games, but the way they're made might make you think twice about eating them. Even though they're loved by many, the process behind making these sausages isn't exactly appealing. They are made from a mix of leftover meat, fat, and additives, all ground into a smooth paste. The meat used isn't just regular muscle meat either. It can include parts like tripe, stomach lining, and liver. To get that smooth, consistent texture we're used to, this meat mixture is processed with water, salt, and preservatives. The paste is then shaped into the familiar form by being stuffed into casings. These casings can either be natural from animal intestines or made from synthetic materials like collagen. It all starts with collecting leftover meat from beef, pork, or chicken. The meat is chopped very finely until it becomes a paste, which is then mixed with spices and additives to improve flavor and help the hot dog last longer. Common additives include corn syrup and preservatives like nitrates and nitrites, which keep the meat fresh and give it that pink color. But here's something to think about. Nitrates and nitrites, when eaten in large amounts, have been linked to higher risks of certain cancers. But this isn't the worst part. After seasoning, the meat paste is stuffed into casings. Some casings are made from the intestines of animals like pigs or sheep, while others are synthetic, made from collagen found in animal skin. The sausages are then cooked, smoked, and quickly cooled to keep them fresh. If the casings are synthetic, they're often removed after cooking to give them that smooth texture we're familiar with. Now, eating mystery meat might sound a little unsettling, but it's worth noting that using different parts of an animal can be seen as sustainable and economical. It helps reduce waste by using parts of the animal that would otherwise be thrown away. However, hot dogs are not the healthiest option. They're high in sodium, and the preservatives like nitrites and nitrates could be harmful if you eat them often or in large quantities. So next time you're at a barbecue or game, you might want to think about how often you reach for this popular but controversial snack. Dive deeper into the food industry's secrets in our upcoming exploration of Nuggets' hidden truths. Exploring the composition of a fast food favorite. Chicken nuggets are a popular food item that are enjoyed worldwide, especially among children. They are typically made from chicken meat that is either ground or minced. This meat is then seasoned, breaded, and cooked through frying or baking. Real chicken nuggets are made from high-quality cuts of chicken and are often minimally processed, ensuring a better flavor and a healthier option compared to more heavily processed varieties. The manufacturing process for chicken nuggets involves several detailed steps to ensure quality and taste. Initially, high-quality chicken cuts are chosen and trimmed of excess fat and other unwanted parts. The meat is then ground and mixed with a variety of seasonings and binding ingredients to enhance flavor and maintain the shape during cooking. The seasoned meat is shaped into nuggets using molds, coated with a mixture of flour, spices, and breadcrumbs for the crispy outer layer, and finally cooked by either frying or baking to achieve the desired texture and taste. Quality control is paramount in the production of chicken nuggets, involving rigorous checks at each stage of manufacturing to ensure safety, consistency, and quality. After cooking, the nuggets undergo quality control inspections, where they are checked for defects and tested for proper seasoning and texture. Once approved, they are packaged and distributed to various retail locations. In contrast, processed or artificial chicken nuggets are often made from mechanically separated chicken parts, which might include fillers and preservatives to enhance flavor and extend shelf life. This can affect the texture and flavor, making them different from nuggets made from whole chicken pieces. The popularity of chicken nuggets has even inspired the creation of vegan versions, which use plant-based ingredients like pea protein, soy protein, and textured vegetable protein to mimic the texture and flavor of traditional chicken nuggets. These vegan options are becoming increasingly popular as more consumers seek plant-based alternatives. For those interested in making chicken nuggets at home, using real chicken and following baking methods can provide a healthier alternative to the store-bought varieties. If you're worried about what's in your food, it's a good idea to check the ingredient list on the package. Look for products that mention whole muscle meat and avoid ones with too many strange additives. So next time you're craving that crispy nugget, take a moment to think about where it came from. By being aware of what's in your food, you can make smarter, healthier choices that can benefit your overall health. After all, as the saying goes, you are what you eat. Ice cream is a favorite treat for many, but it's made up of more than just milk, sugar, and cream. To give it that smooth and creamy texture we all love, large-scale makers often add stabilizers and emulsifiers. These ingredients help keep it smooth by stopping ice crystals from forming, even if it's been sitting in your freezer for a long time. One common stabilizer is carrageenan, which comes from seaweed. It's used to thicken the dessert and is considered safe by most food safety groups. However, some research suggests that carrageenan might cause stomach problems for some people. In fact, Some have reported digestive discomfort after eating foods with carrageenan. Many commercial varieties also use artificial flavors and colors to make them taste and look like real fruits or vanilla, but at a cheaper cost. Unfortunately, these artificial additives can cause health problems. Some food dyes, for example, have been linked to allergic reactions and hyperactivity in children. That's why more and more people are looking for brands that use natural ingredients instead of artificial ones. If you want to avoid these additives, one option is to make your own at home. That way you know exactly what's going into your dessert. You only need a few simple ingredients like milk, cream, sugar, and real vanilla or fresh fruits. There are plenty of easy recipes you can try with just a handful of ingredients. Another option is to look for brands that focus on natural, high-quality ingredients. Many smaller makers avoid artificial additives and use real, authentic ingredients. These options might cost a little more, but if you're concerned about what's in your food, it's worth it for the peace of mind. Now let's talk about shrimp, which many consider a luxury food. You may be surprised to learn that most shrimp you see in stores or restaurants come from industrial farms. These farms, usually in developing countries, often have poor environmental and labor standards. The conditions in these farms are cramped and unclean, making it easy for diseases to spread among the shrimp. And it gets worse. To keep the shrimp alive and healthy in these rough conditions, farmers often rely on a lot of antibiotics and chemicals. This heavy use of antibiotics raises concerns about antibiotic-resistant bacteria, which can be dangerous to humans. Plus, many of these farms are built on coastal areas where important habitats like mangrove forests used to grow. The destruction of these forests has caused serious environmental problems, including the loss of biodiversity and making the coastline more vulnerable to natural disasters. If that wasn't enough, the workers on these farms are often paid poorly and have to work long hours under harsh conditions, including exposure to harmful chemicals. Next, let's look at non-dairy creamer, which many people add to their coffee or tea. Despite being marketed as a healthier alternative to cream, non-dairy creamers have a surprisingly long list of ingredients. These creamers usually contain water, oil, sugar, and artificial additives. One concerning ingredient in some creamers is partially hydrogenated oil, which contains trans fats. Trans fats are known to increase the risk of heart disease, stroke, and type 2 diabetes. Although the FDA has banned trans fats in most foods, some creamers still contain small amounts because of the processed oils they use. Non-dairy creamers also often have high amounts of added sugar, usually in the form of corn syrup solids. Too much added sugar can lead to weight gain, insulin resistance, and other health issues. On top of that, they usually contain artificial flavors and colors, which can cause allergic reactions in some people. To avoid these risks, it's better to use natural options like real cream or milk. If you prefer plant-based choices, almond or coconut milk are healthier and more natural alternatives. When buying non-dairy creamers, it's important to read the labels and choose products that use simple, whole ingredients instead of artificial ones. Knowing more about chicken nuggets sets the stage to delve into the complexities of caviar production next. Unveiling the controversial practices behind the luxury. Caviar is often seen as the ultimate luxury food. Those small, salty pearls are considered a treat by many. But behind the fancy image lies a more complicated story about how it's made. The delicacy comes from the eggs of sturgeon, a fish that has been around for over 200 million years, even before the dinosaurs. Sturgeon take up to 20 years to mature and produce eggs. When they do, the process of getting those eggs isn't easy and can be quite controversial. Traditionally, the female sturgeon is caught, executed, and cut open to collect the eggs, which raises serious ethical and environmental concerns. Once the eggs are collected, they are cleaned and salted to boost flavor and keep them fresh. This careful process is what gives the delicacy its luxurious reputation. From the right amount of salt to perfect packaging, every step matters. But here's the issue. Executing sturgeon for their eggs has severely reduced their numbers worldwide. Many species are now at risk of extinction due to overfishing and the destruction of their natural habitats, making the need for sustainable production more urgent. To address these issues, some producers are now using more humane methods that don't involve eliminating the fish. These include techniques like massaging the fish to release the eggs or performing minor surgery that allows the sturgeon to continue producing eggs in the future. While these methods are more sustainable, they are also more expensive and less common, which means the traditional, harmful methods still dominate the industry. Now let's talk about swordfish, another popular seafood choice. Swordfish is delicious, but it comes with environmental and health risks, mainly due to high mercury levels. As a top predator in the ocean, swordfish tend to have a lot of mercury in their bodies because of a process called bioaccumulation, where toxins build up in larger fish. This is especially harmful to pregnant women and children because mercury can affect brain development. Health experts recommend eating smaller fish like sardines or mackerel, which have less mercury and are packed with healthy omega-3 fats. Mercury isn't the only concern in our diets. Take packaged bread, for example. It seems simple, but the ingredients can be surprising. Some breads contain an additive called L-cysteine, which helps the dough stay soft and stretchy. The catch? L-cysteine is sometimes made from human hair, as well as duck feathers and other animal products. The hair is often collected from salons in China, and it goes through a chemical process to turn it into something that can be added to bread. If that sounds unappetizing, choosing bread from local bakeries could be a better option. They usually avoid these additives and offer more natural ingredients. But that's not all. Understanding where our food comes from and what's in it can help us make better, healthier choices, especially when it comes to everyday items like bread. Being informed is key to eating ethically and taking care of our well-being. Peanut butter is a popular and delicious spread that many people love. But beyond its great taste, it's also packed with nutrients, making it a favorite among athletes and fitness enthusiasts. Just over 3.5 ounces of the spread has around 1 ounce of healthy fats, which includes monounsaturated fats and polyunsaturated fats. These fats, especially the omega-6 fatty acids, are good for you. Because it's made from peanuts, a type of legume, this spread is also a great source of protein, with almost 1 ounce of protein in the same serving size. That's why it's so often talked about in health and fitness spaces. It also has fiber and important minerals like phosphorus, potassium, magnesium, and zinc. These are all great for keeping your bones strong, muscles working well, and your immune system healthy. However, not all brands are created equal. Many store-bought options add sugar and other ingredients that take away some of the health benefits. For example, some brands have up to 7 grams of sugar in just 2 tablespoons. This makes it taste sweeter but isn't great for your health. Some low-fat varieties are even trickier because they remove fat but add extra sugar and fillers to keep the taste. But that's not the worst part. Eating too much sugar can lead to serious health problems like obesity, diabetes, and heart disease. According to the American Heart Association, women should limit their sugar intake to 6 teaspoons a day, and men should stick to 9. So when you're buying this spread, it's a good idea to read the label carefully. Look for products that only list peanuts and maybe a little salt as ingredients to make sure you're getting the healthiest option. Now let's talk about processed cheese. It's super affordable and melts perfectly, which is why it's often used in fast food and quick recipes. But the way it's made and what's in it might surprise you. This product starts out as real cheese, but then it's melted down and mixed with things like sodium phosphate to keep it smooth and sodium citrate to stop it from separating. They also add artificial colors to give it that bright yellow color that we're all used to. After that, the mixture is pasteurized to eliminate bacteria and extend the shelf life. Then it's poured into molds to create the cheese slices and blocks you see in the grocery store. But here's the thing. This type of cheese has less real cheese and more additives compared to natural cheeses like cheddar or mozzarella. The high amounts of sodium and artificial ingredients can lead to health problems like high blood pressure or allergic reactions. But the health risks aren't the only issue. The production of this cheese also has a big environmental impact. Dairy farming, which is essential for making cheese, uses a lot of water and releases greenhouse gases that harm the environment. As more people learn about these concerns, they are starting to look for healthier and more eco-friendly options. Natural cheeses from sustainable sources or even plant-based alternatives are becoming more popular. These options give you similar flavors and textures without the negative health or environmental effects of processed cheese. What if your favorite comfort food was harming your health or the planet? Are we sacrificing our health for convenience? Let us know and share your thoughts below. Don't forget to like and subscribe.